If you didn't get a chance and want to learn a lot more, there's a full hour of information that you can go and view that recorded video that was done earlier today. But we are just really grateful and proud to be able to come here today to the Nature Conservancy and recognize TNC and its role relative to land fire and the great work that has been done. So for those of you that may not be familiar with land fire, it is a collaborative effort between the United States Department of Agriculture and Forest Service and the United States Department of Interior. TNC is a critical partner. We have a cooperative agreement through the Forest Service to do this work. And we basically, I call us the map of the nation. We map all lands across all 50 states and have recently added the insular areas and territories of America. And an analogy that I kind of used with our presentation earlier this morning is, how many of you have recently pulled up your Google map and tried to find a hotel, a restaurant, a theater, a gas station, or something like that? You're like, I need that. Okay. Well, land fire is very similar to that in that we map all of the biological and ecological information that is critical to our nation. And for you that may have raised your hand, like, yeah, I found that hotel that I wanted to go at. You don't just say, show me hotels, and then you go pick that hotel. Similar with land fire, we just don't map forests and tell you, hey, there's all these forests out there. We map specific forest types, specific rangeland and grassland types, so that you can then, as a discerning connoisseur of hotels, if you will, say, no, I'm a Marriott man, or no, Hilton, I've got to have Hilton, so that you can then say, I'm going to go pick that specific type of property and stay there. And so land fire does map all that level of detail for our biological and ecological information across the country. So with that little bit of a backdrop, relative to land fire, I want to just focus a little bit on the name. Sometimes people are very misled. They think, that's a fire thing, right? Land fire. Well, focus on the land and the fire, because they both are equally represented and supported in the data. It's not just one shoe fits one group, it fits all. Okay. So with that backdrop, I want to now maybe turn a little bit toward this award. You've probably heard that the Department of Interior, when it was first established back in the early 1800s, was called the Department of Everything. Okay? And I think that's actually really fitting relative to this ceremony today, and the award that we're presenting is land fire is everything across all lands and for all people, and it is available and free to all. This particular award, each year the Department of Interior recognizes employees, teams, and partners who have attained excellence in environmental stewardship. And we, fortunately, were selected as a land fire team with the award called the Dream Team. And again, I think that's very suiting and fitting relative to our team, because we have people from Florida, which we'll introduce Jim Smith here in a moment, all the way to Montana, across the entire country, Oregon. We've got people everywhere. And this team, has done a great deal of work to bring these products, available to us. The award specifically acknowledges interagency teams that are champions and agents of change. The key elements of the award include teamwork across organizational boundaries to enhance environmental stewardship, create efficiencies, improve communication, and reduce environmental review times. There's also criteria included being unique in our approach and highly effective at employing proven strategies, demonstrating clear results by improving operations, and being able to be replicated elsewhere across the entire United States and across all lands. And it's not a surprise to me that land fire was selected because of that, because of exactly what we do. I was not planning on this today, but I definitely have to show this. because this is hot off the press. With this award comes a letter from Secretary Zinke of the Department of the Interior. It is dated September the 10th today, which is really cool, because I didn't know that we were going to get it in time for this presentation today, but we have it, so it's extra special. But I want to read a few of the things that Secretary Ryan Zinke commented during the letter. He says, "Dear Land Fire Team, congratulations on your selection as a recipient of the 2017 Department of Interior Environmental Achievement Award. You are receiving this award in the Environmental Dream Team category because of your significant contributions of providing consistent and comprehensive biological, ecological, and geospatial data and databases across the United States and its border areas. The suite of data resources provides substantial benefits to those working on land management issues such as conservation, natural resources, ecological, environmental, and wildland fire." And then he concludes, he says, "The Environmental Achievement Award recognizes employees and partners for excellence in environmental management and performance. Your exceptional accomplishments are particularly deserving of this recognition. Your inspiring efforts are a great benefit to the nation. I am proud to have the opportunity to serve with such dedicated environmental stewards." So with that, I would like to invite Katie and Jim Smith to please join me here at the front. And of course, present to you this letter from Secretary Zinke today. And not that the letter isn't great, but we're also going to present to you the award for Dream Team Land Fire 2017 Land Fire. We're so proud of this this collaborative effort, and thank you for your participation and involvement with us in Land Fire.
Thank you. Well,
on behalf of the Nature Conservancy and the North America region, I want to extend our gratitude to you and the entire Land Fire team. It's an honor to be part of the Dream Team. So, thank you. I'll let you have a few words.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
You need to have this near you.
In this room, thank you very much for taking time out of your late Monday afternoon to be here, and for all of you on the live stream as well. We appreciate the time that you're taking to sort of celebrate this award with us. And my role today, I am the program lead for Land Fire within the Nature Conservancy. And my role is to accept this award on the behalf of, I would say, literally hundreds and hundreds of people. And that's what we're going to come back to by the end of this. I'll keep it as short as I can. But it's not going to be that easy because there are a lot of things that I need to say. That is very important that you understand that this is not just a TNC award. This is an award for the Office of Wildland Fire and the Department of the Interior, as well as Fire and Aviation Management with the Forest Service, the Missoula Fire Sciences Lab, and the Aeros Data Center, USGS. So all 5 of us will be receiving one of these as a part of the Land Fire program. We just happen to be first on the list. And so I want to make sure that you understand this is a big, big group award. And it's maybe the first time I've ever spoken with something in my hand, because I found this to be a pretty difficult thing to do, to try to keep it short enough to not be one of those people you see on the Oscars where the music starts playing and they pull you off to the side. But be complete, because I think it's important that you understand who's all involved with this. And so I'm going to talk about groups of people rather than individuals, with a couple of short exceptions. And we need to think back to 2003 or so, when Land Fire was conceived, as about the time of the National Fire Plan. Legend has it that a group of people went on a horse or mule pack trip in the Bob Marshall Wilderness and actually conceived of this program in 2002 or 3, something like that. That was the originating group, none of which are still on the program now, but I think that that's an interesting concept, that this was conceived in that manner. Then that group sold this concept to the Wildland Fire Leadership Council, we call them WIFLC, Then Scarlett was on, at that time, was an original signer of the Land Fire Charter in 2004. And that's very important because somebody had to have the vision that data, just data, was a critical thing to have. If you're going to be effective in decision making, you're going to have good systems that drive processes the way they need to be. They need to be data driven. And I think that was pretty visionary back then to sell that concept and for them to accept it. So we have to look all the way back to them to really thank the members of the Wildfire Leadership Council and those originators. We need to thank the leadership of the Office of Wildland Fire and Fire and Aviation Management as well. They continue to support us for 14 years. That is, I think, a pretty big deal to be supported to do work on data this well for 14 years. So we thank them for that, and we thank the business leads. Henry is the business lead from the Department of the Interior, and Frank Fay for U.S. Forest Service, and they certainly lead this program in a very effective way, and we appreciate that. Now, here's where the list really starts to get long. So I'm going to really skim over a lot here. But you can imagine that there are many people toiling somewhere in an office somewhere that virtually never see the light of day to do this work. And I want to acknowledge all those people at Eros Data Center, their contractors who are actually doing this work. That's a USGS facility. And we get to do this kind of work. We get to see people and see what's happening. And they get to see maps and offices and satellite images and monitors and things like that while we get to do this. So we need to understand that they work hard to create these products. Groups like Nature Conservancy, who are behind the scenes and do a lot to help us create a better product than we would have. Contractors like Apex Resource Management Solutions, you probably don't know them. They're very important to Land Fire. So we have all these people in the background creating all these products, and it does take a lot. Now the list expands because I need to talk about Land Fire program contributors. As a fact, nearly 500 people helped the TNC-LANDFIRE team build, revise biophysical settings models for land fire. That's 500 people, in an approximate number. I can't tell you how many data sets have been delivered to land fire. Hundreds have been delivered by researchers, by federal organizations. TNC provides their controlled burn data to land fire. So all these people are contributing. There are federal programs like FIA and NRI. I don't know if the acronyms mean anything to you. Assessment, inventory, monitoring. That's what it takes to make products like this and what it takes to make something useful. We have advisors from groups like National Association of Counties, National Association of State Forests, who also help us stay focused and directed on the task at hand. Now, land fire user community. For those of you who have been in the data business, that's not always a pleasant thing to have a big user community. But they're critical because we want to create products that people actually use. That's what we want. Sometimes the relationship is rough, but they've always persevered with us and they provide us feedback that's helped us improve what we do. And I really salute the users, which are unbelievably diverse. I salute them for hanging with us in the early years and now really being a component part of the program. Not just somebody at an extension that we don't even know. TNC, we live in TNC, the land fire team. There are also people toiling in TNC that never get to do the fun things that we do. The people in HR, in TIS, in grants, in legal. We do not do what we do without you, so I want to thank all of you for being a part of that because we really need you because I don't want to do your job, to be honest. Okay. TNC chapters and programs. We probably worked with 25 different state chapters over the last decade. We worked with Restoring America's Forests, Fire Learning Network, Fire Adapted Communities. All that stuff is very important, just working within TNC. And I'd like to thank all the TNC chapters that have worked with us. And finally, I need to recognize my team. Corey Blankenship, Sarah Hagan, Kim Hall, Jeannie Patton, and Randy Swatty. That's all, and by the way, none of them are full-time on land fire. And all this has been accomplished in that particular environment. They are incredible, productive, creative people, and I thank you for what you've done. Also want to recognize former teammates that some of you may know that are no longer with us, but well, they are no longer with the program. Kelly Pale, you know Kelly, or Ann Schlisky, or Elena Contreras, and Darren Johnson, who were an integral part of our team but have moved on to bigger things over time. And I'm sorry this list was long, but then again, I'm not sorry it's long, because I think that's the point. The point is it takes all these people to do what we want to do. We cannot do what we want to do at the scale that we want to do it without this kind of work. We can't do it without shared responsibilities, shared goals, shared governance. Otherwise, we're not going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. And I am very proud to say that Landfire has been walking the walk of that for 14 years, long before it was cool. So thank you again for your time, and I appreciate you being here, and thanks for this award.